If you're a person that uses whatever kind of weapon as an instrument to go around killing people, that's what you're going to be killed with. For this reason is ordained on heavenly tables, with the instrument with which man killeth his neighbor, with the same shall he be killed, after the manner that he wounded him. In like manner shall they deal with him. And in the 25th Jubilee, Noah took to himself a wife, and her name was Esmeralda, or Emzora, or these names, tongue twisters, the daughter of Rechiel, the daughter of his father's brother. In the first year, in the 5th week, and in the 3rd year thereof, she bare him Shem. In the 5th year thereof, she bare him Ham. And in the 1st year of, she bare him, or in the 6th week, she bare him Japheth. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now these were our forefathers that came over from the flood on the ark, that repopulated the whole earth as you see it now. Their gene pool produced all the nationalities that you see in the world. The Caucasian, the African, the Native American, the Asian, Middle Eastern, was right here in these 3 sons, their gene pool. And it came to pass, when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth. Now we're going to read about the fall of the angels and their punishment, their lose for two. And it came to pass, when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the angels of God saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, and they were beautiful to look thereon. Even the angels had a thing for beautiful women. They're weak. And they took themselves wives of all whom they chose. These angels said, hold up. These are some fine looking women. We can't pass this up, boys. So they gave up their heavenly positions to have intercourse with these women and produce these monsters called giants. They gave up their heavenly position. These watchers. And they were beautiful to look on. Ain't nothing like temptation of a beautiful woman to get you. And they took themselves wives of all whom they chose. And they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted as well. Now Jesus said, is it the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of coming Son of Man. Same thing you see that happened in antediluvian, pre-flood generations going to happen in this generation right here. And they took themselves wives of all whom they chose, and they bare unto them sons, and they were giants. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way alike, men and cattle and beasts, and birds and everything that walked on the earth. All of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other. And lawlessness increased on the earth. And every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continuously. Starting to look like today, with all the helter-skelter going on in the world, and the violence, and the confusion. That's why God wiped the earth out. He'll wipe it out again. He just used water that time, using fire this time. And God looked up on the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all the flesh had corrupted its orders. Genetic mutations and genetic engineering was going on there too. Creating monsters and freaks. This was happening there. And all were upon the earth have wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said, I shall destroy man. This is God speaking. I shall destroy man, and all flesh upon the earth, on the face of the earth, which I have created. But Noah found grace before the eyes of the Lord, and against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth. And he was exceedingly wroth. And he gave a commandment to root them out of all their dominion. And he bade us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And behold, they are bound in the midst of them, and are kept separate. And against their sons went forth a command from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under heaven. And he said, thy spirit will not always abide on man. You've heard me quote this a lot of times. God's spirit will not always strive with you. There's a point he'll give up on you, turn you over to a strong delusion, let you believe a lie and be damned. But this is for you backsliding Christians that keep playing with God. You think God's playing. Now these are angels that he's dealing with that were in heaven. How much more will his spirit not strive with you? We read about the judgment of his angel. Thy spirit will not always abide on men, for they are all so flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. So God's going to shorten the year. Back then they're living 800, 900, 700. And he sent his sword into their midst, that each should slay his neighbor. And they began to slay each other, till all fell by the sword and were destroyed from the earth. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. It says the same thing in Enoch. That God caused war among these giants, let them kill one another off. And he let the fathers of the giants see what was happening to their sons, which hurt them. That was their kids. It would be painful to see your kid die. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And after this, they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the day of the great condemnation, which judgment is executed on all those who have corrupted. He's going to judge these angels too in the end time, when they're during the great judgment, the white throne judgment. Days and their works before the Lord, and he destroyed all their places, and there was not left one of them whom he judged not according to all their wickedness. And he made for all his works a new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever, but should be all righteous, each in his kind always. So he cut off their way of having sex with women. And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tables in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in. If they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature, for every kind. And there is nothing in heaven or on earth, or in light, or in darkness, or in Sheol, in the grave, in the depth, or in the place of darkness, which is not judged. God sees everything, everywhere. Darkness and light is the same thing. And everybody will be judged according to their own works. Nobody's going to escape. And all the judgments are ordained and written and engraved. In regard to all, he will judge the great according to his greatness, and the small according to his smallness. Is that what Jesus said? And much given is much required. He said the one that knows much will be beaten with many stripes if he refused to do it, and one that knows little will be beaten with few stripes. God's favor. Despite what man thinks. I can't get away with much. I know too much. So God would beat me with a lot of stripes. And even though I don't feel it at times, I'm not one of those, you heard me say 1,000 times, to put on a cape and say I'm some kind of super spiritual giant. That's not me. Some day I could barely get out of bed. And I know each day I put one foot forward, even if I got to take baby steps. The object is to keep moving. We'll reap in due season if we faint not. So keep moving. And there is nothing in heaven or on earth, in regard to all, he will judge the great according to his greatness and the small according to his smallness, and each according to his way. And he is not one who will regard person of any. God is not impressed with your statue down here on earth, or how famous you are or not famous. He is not one who will regard the person of any, nor is he one who will receive gifts. Can't bribe God. Can't pervert God's judgment. He's going to be fair. Of the person, of any, nor accept anything at his hands, for he is a righteous judge. And of the children of Israel it had been written and ordained, if they turn to him in righteousness, he will forgive all their transgressions and pardon all their sins. It is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from all guilt once each year. And as for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no man's person was accepted save that of Noah alone. God closed the door. Noah preached 120 years. And everybody laughed and scoffed and thought it was a joke until the Lord, the Bible said God himself closed the ark's door, shut him in. And then, once that water started pelting them, they believed. And they banging on the ark for Noah to let them in. God sent wild animals to run them off. Too late. It is written and ordained that he would show mercy to all who turn from their guilt once a year. Thoughts before the flood, no man's person was accepted save that of Noah alone, for his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom God saved from the waters of the flood on his account. Saved his sons because of Noah. For his heart was righteous in all his ways, according as it was commanded regarding him. And he had not departed from aught which was ordained to him. He dotted his I's and crossed his T's when it came to the things of God. Noah did. And the Lord said that he would destroy everything which was on earth, both men and cattle and beasts and fowl of the air, and all which moveth on earth. It's God's earth. He killed everything off in the flood. And there's proof to that he killed everything off. For those that are not too lazy to do the research, God was right. You can find seashells all up at the top of Mount Everest and water erosion at the top of Mount Everest. This whole world was underwater, like God said. And real scientists know this, but they're busy trying to still perpetuate their lies and falsehood. And twist what God had said. God said. And it's been proven through science and archaeology ever since. Not too lazy to look. All right. That's part 4. We're going to continue on part 5 another day. Good evening. Oh, if I'm the one that taught you give, I almost forgot. I'm slipping. If I'm the one that taught you give, go to streetpriestministry.org and hit the donate button. First fruit alabaster tithes belong to the Lord. Getting through the Book of Jubilees. Jubilee means to be forgiven of one's debt. And our debt was forgiven, so testify to it. By giving God's way, if I'm the one that taught you. Galatians 6:6. Good day, good evening, good night to you around the world. May you grow in faith. In Jesus' name.